Christmas is over. The decorations, like the ones behind me, are going to be coming down in a few days. And I hope you had a great Christmas, but maybe it didn't go so well for you. Maybe you and your marriage feel, I don't know, perhaps exhausted or stressed. Maybe you're snapping at each other over nothing. Maybe you're avoiding conversations. Maybe you're wondering if the connection you had before Christmas is even still there. Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to recover that connection with 3 simple steps that actually work. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do this week to turn any post-Christmas tension into post-Christmas breakthrough. Hi, I'm Kelly Dupee, your Christian marriage coach and author of the acclaimed book, Turn It Up: How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. I'm here to help you strengthen your marriage with biblical wisdom and practical tools that actually heal relationships and work. Whether you're facing communication breakdowns, financial stress, or just need to reconnect after the chaos of the holiday season, I'm here to guide you toward the lifelong marriage that you really want. And I'm offering a free 30-minute strategy session to address any challenges that may have come up over the holidays. The link is in the description so you can schedule yours. If things didn't go well at your holidays, well, let me give you some suggestions so that you can move forward instead of just brushing things under the rug and pretending that didn't happen. The first step is to talk about what happened. Yeah, it's simple, huh? Talk about what happened. A lot of times couples fail to do this. And so they don't talk. They just kind of assume that, well, that was, challenging. Hopefully next year it won't be the same. Well, I want you to talk about it and evaluate it. You're not going to blame, you're not going to defend, but you're going to name what happened. Just name it. I've heard it said by therapists that you've got to name it in order to tame it. Well, Christmas has a way of bringing stress. Maybe it's family dynamics. Maybe it's the financial pressure. Maybe it's just the sheer exhaustion of hosting the big Christmas party or the traveling that you had to do. Whatever it was, the stress landed not just on you, but also on your marriage. And right now, maybe you're both feeling the aftermath without actually talking about it. So here's what I want you to do. Find 15 to 20 minutes this week when you're both calm, when you're both rested. Sit down and then talk about what happened. Use one of the skills that I talk about in my book, which is called Share Your Feelings. Not you made me feel, but I felt overwhelmed when, or I felt frustrated when, or I felt disconnected when. You see, here's how it works. One person shares, the other listens. And here's the key part. The person listening then repeats back what they heard. And they use the phrase, what I'm hearing you say is this. You said you felt exhausted and disconnected, and then ask for feedback. Is that right? Did I understand you correctly? This gives your spouse the chance to clarify or add to what they just said. And then let them continue on. And if they add or clarify, then repeat that back. You want to do this over and over again until they say, yeah, that's it. And then you get to express what you liked about the holidays and maybe what didn't work and you'd like to see different. And then they repeat it back to you and then they ask you, is that it? And you get to clarify and continue on until you finally say, yeah, that's it. It's called the understanding skill, and there's a chapter on that in my book as well. Just name what happened and make sure you actually understand each other. Ephesians 4 verses 2 to 3 in the Bible says this: be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. That's what this step is all about, bearing with each other and understanding. And don't forget James 1:19, which also tells us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. You'll be amazed at how much tension dissolves when you feel truly heard and understood. And by the way, if you'd like some help with this conversation, I've created a free couples communication guide that walks you through these steps. You can get yours by using the link in the description or just type guide in the comments. It's yours free, no strings attached. The second step is that once you've named what happened, you need to intentionally rebuild your connection. I don't mean a fancy date night, although that's great if you can do it. But what I'm talking about is small, deliberate moments to reconnect. Take some time, sit together, hold hands while you're talking, make eye contact. Ask your spouse, what can I do for you? How can I help you? And then actually listen to the answer. And if they ask you to do something, then do it. One of the key commitments in my book is to prioritize and protect your connection. Well, Christmas has a way of pulling you apart. Your job now is to pull yourselves back together, to reconnect. That might look like a short walk together without your phones. Just leave them at home or make a commitment to not look at them. Or it's sitting on the couch and actually talking instead of scrolling. Maybe it's spending time in prayer together or just cooking dinner together and laughing about what happened over the holidays. Maybe it is a nice date. Yeah, that would really help as well. The point is this: you're showing each other you matter. Us matters. You're choosing you and your marriage right now. That's going to rebuild trust and closeness faster than anything else. First Thessalonians 5:11 reminds us to encourage one another and build each other up. That's what reconnecting is. You're building each other and building your marriage back up after the stress of Christmas. The third step is make a plan. Christmas revealed something. Maybe it showed you that you need better boundaries with your family. Maybe it revealed that you're spending monies in ways that stresses you out following it when you've got to pay all the bills in January. Maybe it exposed that you're not on the same page about your priorities. So don't ignore that. Use it. Sit down together and ask this simple question: what do we want to be different next year? Not in a critical way, but in a let's build something better together way. And what you need to do then is make a plan. And this is also an opportunity to use another skill in my book, which is called ask for what you need. You're not making a demand, you're making a request. I would like us to set a budget before the holidays next year. Can we do that together? I need us to have a conversation about much time we're going to spend with family. I need us to protect more time just for us. I need, or I want, or I would like, or would you please? You see, these are all requests, not demands. Even if you do make a statement out of it without a question mark, you can phrase it in a way where it's more like a wish statement. You know, I wish we would spend more time with each other instead of all of the family gatherings. Let's figure out a way to make that work. You see, when you both feel heard and you've actually made a plan together, you move from post-Christmas tension to post-Christmas growth. You're not just recovering, you're improving. Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Your spouse is your greatest advisor, so plan together, dream together about what's next, and you'll be amazed at what happens when you're truly on the same team. Now, I would suggest as well that as you make the plan, type it up, write it down, and then save it on your computer. And then jump ahead in your calendar to maybe November 1st, maybe November 15th, whatever, a couple of weeks or so before Thanksgiving, and put a reminder or schedule an appointment with yourself in November next year to look at your plan. You see, this isn't rocket science. It's not hard to do, but you do have to be intentional about it. A lot of the times we miss having great things in our lives because we're not evaluating, and then we're not asking what could we better, and then making a plan to make that better. So here's your homework for this week. Don't wait until New Year's. Don't put this off. This week, between Christmas and New Year's, I would encourage you to do all three of these steps. First, have that 15 to 20-minute conversation where you're sharing your feelings and repeating back what you hear and asking for clarification. And once again, it's all about just naming what happened over Christmas and looking at it objectively. Secondly, build your connection. Have an intentional reconnection moment, a walk, a date, a conversation without distractions, a time of prayer, whatever you would like to do. Thirdly, then, sit down and make a plan. What do we want to be different next year? And make that plan together. That's it. 3 steps, 1 week. And I promise you, your marriage will feel different by New Year's. Remember, your marriage is worth fighting for. Christmas chaos doesn't have to define your relationship. You can recover if that's what happened. You can reconnect. and you can come out of this holiday season stronger than when you went in. And by the way, like I mentioned before, if you want some personalized guidance beyond this video, then sign up for my free 30-minute strategy call, where we're going to talk about what's happening in your marriage and create a plan together to make it better. I'm Kelly Dupee. I believe in your marriage. Now go show your spouse that you believe in it too. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.